Good morning, Mario. And good morning, Nintendo fans. It's a brand new week, and I hope your Mondays are starting off just snazzy. You're going to want to see this. Hold on. What you're about to see will blow your mind. What you are witnessing is a cartridge that has sold 31 million times. $1.86 billion worth of sales right here. Good morning, Mario.
Okie dokie.
Nintendo's financial reports released, and they are insane. They are shocking. They are earth-shattering, and they show that Nintendo did the unthinkable. And I cannot wait to dive into the software sales numbers, the hardware sales numbers, how it compares to past consoles, what it means going forward, and of course, they did reveal their current calendar for the games coming out in 2021. So we've got a lot to talk about, but first, I want to discuss this rumor, okay? There's this rumor that popped up last night about a new Zelda game hitting Switch. So we got to get into that first. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hit that like button if you've ever played Switch, because if you have, then you get to share in some of the joy that we are going to discuss today. And let me know in the comments down below your favorite Switch game. We haven't talked about that in a while, and I just like to kind of read the room. But first, we've got some tea. Apparently, a Walmart employee posted on 4chan that they have been prepping demo stations for a new Zelda game. And this new Zelda game is a 35th anniversary title for the Switch, and it's an Ocarina of Time port. Now, I want you to take this rumor with a complete grain of salt, because crazy leaks pop up all the time, and more often than not, they're totally fake. I've seen a lot popping up around Pokemon and Zelda and just the Switch in general, because people are so eager to see what they've got cooking. I will say that back in 2017, a demo worker did correctly have information about some of the Switch lineup, so it can't be completely dismissed, but I would find this a weird strategy for Nintendo. Would you find it weird if their big Zelda release was a 35th anniversary port of Ocarina of Time? Now, this rumor, leak, whatever you want to call it, says that it's going to be a straight port, but with much better textures. It runs 1080p 30, it retains the N64 file select screen, and the HUD, and the inventory, and they say there's no real graphical changes except the textures look a lot better. And the game has gyro, and the demo features one section with Child Link in the Deku Tree and one with Adult Link in Hyrule Field, and it's supposed to be rolled out into Walmarts on February 12th, which would imply that there needs to be some sort of Zelda presentation or direct in the next 2 weeks. Now, all of this seems very unlikely, yet Nintendo does very unlikely things. They pop off announcements on Twitter, and they blow our minds with how well they do. So I can't say it's completely impossible. So for Nintendo to just drop an Ocarina of Time port early in the year, like, it's unlikely, but it's Nintendo, so it is possible. What do you guys think? Real or no deal? Now it's time for the crazy stuff. The Switch financial reports are out there, and this system is going insane. This system passed 3DS, and this system is on track to pass Wii maybe this year. We're talking 79 million units sold for the Switch. 79 million. The 3DS was at 75 million, so we eclipsed that. And hey, the Switch Lite is at 13.53 million. Do you know what console's at 13.56 million? Take a guess. Switch Lite, just the Lite, 13.53 million. What console? The Wii U. The Wii U is at 13.56 million lifetime total, and the Switch Lite is this close to overtaking it. It absolutely has by now, because these reports wrapped up on December 31st. The Switch is Nintendo's greatest achievement, I think. They were in such a down in the dumps position with that Wii U, and now their cheaper version has outsold it. What the heck? This is a comeback for the ages, and it continues to show that Nintendo has so much power. I mean, I feel like last year, 2020, was basically sit inside and play your Nintendo Switch, and oh yeah, play one specific game. Did it beat it? Did it beat it? We'll get there in a second, but right now, the Switch is doing super well. It's tracking ahead of the PS4, it's tracking ahead of the PS2, and it's tracking ahead of the Wii. What that means is, if you lined up all of their launches by this time in their life cycle, The Switch is at 79.87 million units sold after 46 months. The PS4 was around 67 million, so beat that by 13 million. The PS2 is around 69.5 million, so beat that by another 10 million. And the Wii was under 75 million, so we beat that by almost 5 million. And as you might remember, the Wii sits at 102 million units sold lifetime, which is a gargantuan number. That's like Fury Bowser sitting on top of another Fury Bowser. It's like Grandpa Fury Bowser, and the Switch is probably going to pass that this year or maybe next. If their lineup is huge this year, they're going to pass it. And that's crazy because at the time, the Wii was just, wow, Nintendo really did it. They spread to all demographics. They spread to all corners of the globe. They just spread their games and spread their ideas and were so successful, and now the Switch is going to overtake it. The Switch will probably never catch the DS, which is at 154 million units. That number is potentially too high to the moon to attain, but we're gonna beat the Wii, and that is ridiculous. And I'm so proud, and I hope that all of you who've been lifelong Nintendo fans are a little geeked to see Nintendo just do this well. But let's get to the software side of things. Did Animal Crossing beat Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? That's the question on everybody's mind. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been the phenomenal, unbeatable seller since launch, and it still is. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is up to 33.4 million units sold, and I think it eked out its victory because of those console bundles that they pushed towards the end of the year, where they bundled in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the Switch, and that was the most prevalent bundle that you could buy in stores. Animal Crossing New Horizons, though, this is in 9 months. The game came out March 20th. 31.18 million. 31.18 million. 31 million units. That's insane. Here's where it gets crazier. 39% of all Switch owners, all 79 million, own Animal Crossing. You line up a room of 10 Switch owners, 4 of them have Animal Crossing. That's crazy. For a game that was popular, for a game that was hyped, for a game that was anticipated, but not a game that transcended, now it transcends. And 2020 was the year where you stayed home and played Switch, and you also played Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's incredible, and I love to see a game like this succeed. Is it the greatest game of all time? I don't think so. Could they do better? Absolutely. But they tapped into something truly just beautiful. They tapped into humanity, they tapped into fun, and they tapped into calm. Nintendo was a really great outlet for so much stress and worry in 2020, and I'm proud of them for that. And I'm proud of Animal Crossing, and it shows. 31.18 million units sold. Their other games are no slouch either. You got Smash Bros. Ultimate at 22.85 million. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild gets up to 21.45 million. Pokemon Sword and Shield, 20.35 million. Those are their 20 million sellers, along with Mario Odyssey, clears it at 20.23 million. So now you got 6 games over 20 million copies sold. And like I said, 79 million units of the system, so 20 million, we're talking about a fourth. So all these games are 25% ownership or better, which is incredible. That's insane sell through. Like, these numbers, if you're not familiar with the rest of the games industry, this stuff doesn't happen. It doesn't. Breath of the Wild continues to just do so well, and traditionally Zelda games, they sell good, but they don't sell amazing. So for this one to be up there, 21.5 million, that's just really remarkable. Some of their new stuff from this year, okay, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, 1.08 million. They now have 36 first-party million sellers. 36 million sellers on Switch, which is crazy. We even have Clubhouse Games push 2.6 million, which is great for that. I think it's a fun little title. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, doing work for Pikmin. It's no Mario and it's no Zelda, but it's 1.94 million, which for a port of Pikmin 3 from the Wii U, pretty darn good. Ring Fit Adventure, another highlight at 8.68 million. I love that Nintendo has found a way for some of their more quirky games to be popular. They've got to be happy about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity hitting 3.5 million. That's a really great number for a Musou game. Best-selling Musou of all time, and it does have a little link on there, which goes a long way. But I'm still impressed. 3.5 million, that's a lot of copies. Mario 3D All-Stars, 8.3 million. It's right below Ring Fit. So how high can it go before March? Well, it's going to easily clear 10 million. So that'll be another double-digit seller for Nintendo before it's removed from store shelves on March 31st. So clock is ticking. It's February, so you got 2 months if you want to grab that. Splatoon 2, 11.9 million, creeping and crawling upwards as well, approaching 12 million units, and you got to be thinking about a Splatoon 3 at this point. We talk a lot about how 2021 might be the 2017 2.0 for Nintendo Switch. A lot of these games feel right for it. Splatoon, the Pokemon titles, Sword and Shield, I mentioned. up there at 20.35 million. That's a really impressive number. It's not my favorite game, but it really succeeded. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is at 13 million. So the new generation clearly had a whole lot of push, even though there was the whole National Dex controversy, still a 20 million seller, which is really great. And Mario Party, I think Mario Party is the surprise of the top 10 because it's at 13 million units, and that is not a great Mario Party game. It's a fun Mario Party. It's not a great Mario Party, and I hope this allows them and encourages them to double down and deliver a better Super Mario Party 2. I feel like that's a given, right? The Switch is going to last for at least 3 more years, and so within that time frame, we should get a new Super Mario Party, and I hope it's actually super. Has a really fully featured online, better boards, and some cooler mini games, but again, just so impressive. Mario Bros. U Deluxe rounds out the top 10 at 9.8 million, which for a Wii U port is really, really great. And that game, bringing co-op to the Mario franchise and being traditional in 2D definitely helps. Luigi's Mansion 3, right outside the top 10, 9.13 million. I cannot believe how good Luigi's Mansion 3 did. It deserves it. Don't get me wrong, that game is amazing, but for this single-player, story-focused linear game with the second brother, all you little brothers out there, you guys should know what's up. This is big news. The little brother does really good and, frankly, beat out his big brother in Super Mario Maker 2, which was at 6.9 million, by 2.5 million, which is a good number. I don't think anybody at the start of that year would have predicted that Luigi's Mansion, which got relegated to the 3DS, I don't think anyone would have predicted that its Switch sequel was going to surpass the sequel to Mario Maker, and yet it did. This list is just incredible, and I think what it goes to show you is, man, the Switch is going to compete with the NES and the Super Nintendo for Nintendo's best games library of all time. It might already be there. I don't like to really judge in the moment. You kind of have to look back and really take a full picture, and maybe the best games on Switch are yet to come. That's what's crazy. Maybe the best games are yet to come. Maybe the sequels to some of this stuff are gonna be even better, blow our minds even more. But I think when all is said and done, Nintendo Switch will be the best-selling console for Nintendo, and Nintendo Switch will be the best games library that they've ever compiled. And multiplayer has a lot of power. Mario Kart, obviously, a really fan-favorite game for getting competitive on the couch, and I'm sure it was a lot of fun to retrace your steps through those courses, or for the first time experience them during the pandemic. And you've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, which has a fun multiplayer component, whether you're playing together or just visiting islands. Smash Bros, obviously, multiplayer. The top 3 titles all focus on enjoying Nintendo Switch with other people. And that's why I wonder if the big game of the year is not just Breath of the Wild 2, but something multiplayer. Is Nintendo really wanting to inject this lineup and deliver, say, a Mario Kart 9? Now, with these financial reports, Nintendo always puts out their games that are coming, their upcoming titles for investors to get excited about. Their list this time is really tiny. And I don't think you should be worried. There's no way that this is indicative of their full 2021 lineup. In fact, you should be excited because it goes to show that they are hiding a lot. And whether that's because they just want to have big announcements, whether that's because they actually do have directs planned, fingers crossed, or whether that's because with the pandemic, they just don't feel comfortable announcing anything, I think a lot is going to come, because right now you got Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which releases in like 10 days, Bravely Default 2, which is out in about 3 weeks, new Pokemon Snap, which we just recently learned comes out on April 30th, and then they only have 3 other games. 2 of which I don't think are even hitting this year. You got Metroid Prime 4, which is a temporary title and is TBA. Who knows when, but not 2021. Please don't get your hopes up. Bayonetta 3 is TBA and has been TBA for years. After Kamiya said people should forget about this game and be excited when they do hear about it again, I'm saying that's not a 2021 title either. And then you have the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, again a temporary title because that's a mouthful, and that's TBA. That one I do feel can still hit 2021, although I'm not going to rule out a 2022 launch. I do feel with Zelda's 35th anniversary that they will be pushing it in 2021, or at least doing everything they can to release it this year. But again, with the pandemic and stuff, you can never count out delays. In fact, you should probably expect them. But Nintendo is good and they don't announce days early, they just wait till they're sure. So this might be a case of, hey, we want to see when E3 time rolls around. It's a big announcement, it's going to really be gangbusters, and we want to make sure that we can absolutely hit our date. So maybe they're holding off on that, or maybe they have a new console that they're really waiting to announce it alongside to get you really pumped to pay for another Switch that may or may not have Pro in the title. I think that might be the more likely option, but I still have my fingers crossed for Breath of the Wild 2 in 2021. But what's the rest of the lineup? This is way too small for Nintendo, a console that is just steamrolling, right? It's moving towards the Wii, gonna eclipse it probably this year or next. It's doing phenomenal. They got to announce more. We know that Pokemon has big plans with its anniversary. Zelda has to have something with its anniversary. We've heard rumors of DK paying tribute to its anniversary, and then, there's other rumors out there about, maybe Mario Kart, maybe it is time, or maybe we're gonna get Mario Golf. A sports title seems likely, or hey, perhaps it's prime for another party, although that feels like it's still a year away. We're gonna get more, and I think the great news here is that Switch is doing so well. They've got plenty of cash, they have plenty of purpose, and plenty of reason to just keep pumping out awesome games. Some could argue that these big sellers mean they don't have to put out games, but I don't think Nintendo wants to sit back. I think they want to continue to expand. I think they want to continue to deliver, and they know they need to because you do have the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X lurking. They're nowhere near the Switch, and they won't be for a long time, if ever, but you do have to think, hey, these systems are doing really bold, groundbreaking, exciting things. We aren't from a tech standpoint, so we got to do it from a gameplay standpoint. I think Nintendo knows that, and I think they'll go hard. 2020 was kind of a lackluster year, although Animal Crossing, that's the golden goose. That's the one, that's the hit. I cannot believe they hit such a home run there. It's been so fun, and I'm so glad for them and that team and for all of us that play, but I think they've got a lot up their sleeve, and whether it's delivered to us in partner showcases, directs, Twitter announcements, or some E3 shebang that we cannot yet predict, I'm pumped, and I'm ready, and I hope you are too. So that'll do it. That's Nintendo and their sales and how stinking good they're doing. Plus that awkward Ocarina of Time rumor that I'm really thinking about. Would Nintendo dip that far back? They did go to Mario 64 for Mario. Do they want to go to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for Zelda? I'd rather them just put those games on the Switch Online Virtual Console and get a little more creative with their offering, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the comments down below if you buy into that Ocarina of Time rumor, and what's your favorite Switch game out of this list? 36 million sellers. Which one's your favorite? I want to hear from you. Hit that like button if you had fun. I hope you did. I love you guys and appreciate you so much for being a part of my life and my journey here on YouTube and this Good Morning Mario show that I hope makes you smile. I hope your week goes good, and if it's not starting off well, take a deep breath, reset. You got this. You can do it. Every moment's a new moment. The last few don't define the next few. So as long as you can breathe, reset, and go forward positively, you can create whatever you want for this week. And I challenge you to do so. So until tomorrow, everybody, thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying smart out there. Till next time, SwitchForce, out.